How's it going, everyone? I just want to do a recap of my trading strategy here for selling credit spreads, zero DTEs to make income every day. Um, May or this first week here is, been pretty hard. But May so far we have a perfect win ratio. We're starting off strong in May. We got 2 wins in a row. Um, last month we had 2 losses all in all. So if you stick with this strategy, you can have an amazing win streak. You see, when I get a loss, I tend to have a massive win streak. I just got a loss on April 30th. I'm going to go over that if you guys want to see it. But then you can see that we're starting to get our win streak coming up. March actually should have been no losses, but I did go against the trend. I discussed that with you guys. And February was only 1 loss and a massive win streak. So when you back test these and you journal your trades, you're going to see the results are very good. Today was a little stressful, not gonna lie. Okay, because when you do the 15-minute orb, which is what I do, I put my 15-minute lines here from the top to bottom. I love getting in early because remember, if you guys don't know what credit spreads is, if you look at my Discord alerts, I posted this bear call here at 10 o'clock. I filled really fast here. I filled right before 10 because it was closing below that 10 o'clock candle. So you can see the exact price that I filled at, the limit, and all that, and then the exact strike. So if you're part of the Discord, you're going to get all that. You can see what strikes I look to do. A lot of the times is I look at higher time frames. We'll get rid of this trend line here, but I like to look at higher time frames, and I was eyeing this resistance here. This was the resistance I was eyeing. So I came into the day looking bearish. Based on support resistance. So it's good to use higher time frames. And just like if price gets up to this top line, I'm going to be coming into the day bearish if it does. But I looked at the 15-minute chart and I got so excited because I was like, holy crap, we're getting a nice signal. It's very fast. We didn't have no news at 10, so I got in bear calls right at the close of this candle. Literally got in at this close here, and no joke, price literally moved against me. Very stressful day, right? Literally get in here and has a price move against me. I'm just like, oh, wow, right? Price goes up and bam, goes up against me. So it went up against me about 0.50% with no time decay. All right. So what saved me is like this consolidation pattern here, and then bam, another massive leg up, right? And then we had this massive consolidation, which saved me some more. So the highest my premium went as a selling credit spreads, just remember if the premium goes up, since I sold it at 25 cents, every time it goes up, I lose money, right? I do have a clear stop loss. It didn't hit it. It got close, but a win is still a win, all right? Just remember that. A win is still a win. So right up in here, it got really high. You know why? What you saw, and this is the hard thing with credit spreads, you can get these random candles like this. You see this 1 minute news candle just shot up out of nowhere, making a 0.30% move in 1 minute. So the premiums got up to 0.80 on that spike. It kind of had to calm down, came up, calm down, and you can see a lot of consolidation is what burned my premium. So this is a nice directional strategy, but if you get the direction wrong, you can still totally win. You can literally short it right here at the low of the day and still win if price generally went up to the high. So we shorted it at 563, went all the way up to like almost 569. All right. So that's the power of credit spreads. You tell me that's not awesome, right, guys? Using this certain strategy can get you wins like this because you don't know what's going to happen. Anything can happen in the market. Now, what can I do a recap on today? Well, recap is I see that the EMAs are bullish. All right, maybe I should wait for QQQ to give me a signal because if you look at QQQ, we actually never got a signal. If you look at the 15-minute orb, we actually just got a false breakout. We were all due for bull puts here at 10:15. So SPY kind of faked me out there a little. Kind of made me nervous. It would have really sucked if I had a loss because remember, I just had a loss April 30th, okay? It was a fair loss. It was good. But let me show you guys what you could be doing on this recap, right? Since we had a double orb, this is what you call a double orb. Single orb here, that's your bear call signal. If you guys don't know what bear calls is, it means you want to short the market. You're neutral to bearish. But if price goes up, you win. Price goes sideways, you win. And obviously, if price goes down, you win. So you could see we short it and we still win because price goes did not go to our strike. Where was our strike? Well, I sell SPX and I look at the SPY chart. My strike was 57.25. And this is going to be very important for you guys to learn. This was my strike here, 57.25 and 57.30. You see that price never went into these legs. So as a credit spread, if price does not come into these legs, you don't lose. But if it gets pretty close to it, according to time to day, you could take a loss. So there's a lot of things that I'm learning from this day. I like tricky days like this because you can learn a lot from it. I came into the notion bearish. Maybe I shouldn't use my bias, right? You can look at the chart here. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 days of just straight green. You're probably thinking, oh, there's probably going to be a cool off, right? Maybe a pullback eventually. But I was eyeing this major resistance here. You see that resistance here? We hit it and we pulled back. It doesn't have to be the T, but if it goes above this, our next resistance is 576 on SPY. All right, that's the next resistance you look at. So I look at the major levels and I try to make the best decision because I know double orbs can happen. But when I was looking at my credit space sheet, I was like, okay, we got a double orb, we got a double orb, and we got a double orb. We got 3 double orbs in a row. That's the stress. It was a very stressful week for credit spreads. But what I tell a lot of people is you could close your position early. You see how you get a double orb here before 12 o'clock. Anything before 12 or even 1 o'clock is considered pretty early. I want to say 12. If it's before 12, that's considered early to have a false breakout. You get in here and literally does a double orb. So it wants to be short, now it wants to be long. So if you get this kind of move into the orb, I noticed my premium. I was definitely, my premium was like 15 cents down here. I could have easily made money there because I'm in the wrong side of the trend. I should be in just bull puts or just not trade the day, right? So the minute this 1030 closed above, it's all bull puts now, all right? You got to understand, you got to switch your direction of trend now. Obviously, this is rare though. This is why I want to follow the double orb. Very rarely do you get price doing this, a triple orb. It's rare. It don't happen often. So it's better to follow the direction of the trend on the most recent orb. So that's something I would like to, I did get kind of screwed on April 30th, so I did readjust my stop so it doesn't do that. If you're a part of the Discord, you're going to know what I do. Sometimes I use market stops, so sometimes I can get kind of screwed over. Here was, I won this day with bear calls. That was an easy day. Here was the day I lost after a massive win streak. Remember, I lost on April 30, and I didn't lose any more days since April 1st. So it was a massive win streak. Look at all these wins in a row. Just constant. And it's totally okay. I took a 660 loss. And this is what's interesting. I got stopped out at 80 cents. All right. I put my stop at $1. It never got to $1. So it stopped me out a little earlier. So I'm like, you know what? If it didn't stop me out, I could have easily took what? A break-even trade over here. Price went massively up. It faked us out again, right? I didn't think it would break above this orb. We get this down signal here, and it just went massively up again. EMAs were bearish, so I was like, yeah, this looks good. Of course, they can fill the gap of the pre-market, and that's what it did, but it doesn't happen often. So everything was bearish. I liked the trade, and it's just like, wow, I didn't expect that V-shape happen. So we've been having a lot of that this last week. It doesn't happen often. It's rare, but this many times in a row, it's crazy, right? Trump news and all that. So we get this double orb here. You see that? So now we should be looking, since it's before 12 o'clock, 11:15, we have a double orb. We need to look to get out of our position. Right here on this time decay, you see all this consolidation with this move down? That is where you could look to get out of your position. You could easily got out for break even right there. I highly recommend that. And then you can see, if you didn't get out though, you were definitely going to lose, because look at this monster rally up. Okay, so you just be careful about this. Another thing that I've noticed in my Excel sheet is a lot of the times you're going to lose on bear calls, all right, because the market don't like you shorting it. They don't give you as much premium, right? You can see I can't count March because I went against the trend, but you can see I lost on February. My only loss was bear calls. So just when you journal this, it's nice to know what sides are you losing on. Maybe you should be a little more pickier on these false breakouts, okay? Even if it does have a false breakout, you can still win. Like, for example, we had 3 triple orbs in a row. We won on this day. We looked to we were bearish. same pattern. We shorted at 10 o'clock. But remember, if you get in really early, I get really excited on these plays because if you get in really early, then well, oftentimes what happens is you can get way out of the money. So price goes up. We were not down that much on this move. Price goes back down. We win. Price goes up. It goes down. So just gotta understand, on this kind of scenario, yeah, it's probably smart to get out of your trade, break even or minor profit. But then again, you could just win on the trade if you just held through it because you win on this trade and you win on this trade, if you just held through it. So, it's what up to you. Sometimes, just remember it is a high risk environment when you play double orbs. Okay, so if you're playing credit spreads with me, and you want to learn this kind of stuff, come join the community. I mean, I'm not going to charge you guys a lot, but this is a strategy that I have back data. I have all the you can use my credit sheet. You're going to be confident because, usually when we get a loss like we did in April 30th, we tend to have a massive win streak, okay? So come on in. I think you guys are going to love it. Click the link down below in YouTube comments below, and in the description it'll say join the premium Discord for my alerts and system. It'll take you to this free chat landing page. But if you want to subscribe, hit how to subscribe and hit day trade alerts. All right, when you do that, you'll get access to everything. You're going to get my Day and Swing Trading Plus membership, and you're going to understand how I do credit spreads every day and make a really nice living. All right, I love this strategy. I absolutely love it. You can be totally wrong and still win. As you can see today, we shorted the market here, but price jumps up and we win. We sold, yesterday we shorted the market down here on this candle. Price did a fake out. We win. And that's the beautiful thing about this. Now, a lot of times it's not going to be this choppy, all right? This is a very rare week, all right? Price has been very choppy. It's been very unpredictable. It's been a lot of news driven. So it's really nice to, look into credit spreads to win in three directions. Isn't that better to know, hey, I don't know what the direction of the price is going to go right away. It can do anything. Price can go up, down, or sideways, and you could still win. So just using this back test and this data, you can know you can really get ahead of yourself and really win a lot. I think you guys are gonna really love it. We make really good money. On average, you're making about 5% of your account daily. And judge the system based on month by month. Don't judge it based on the day. Losses happen, guys. So if every month you're on average profitable, that's all that matters. We're not here to get rich quick, but yeah, it's been a stressful week, but even on those stressful weeks, you can see you're still profitable. April was a very hard month. We had a lot of tariff news, we had a lot of high VIX, and you could see only 2 losses for a credit spread is amazing. March was a very easy month. I kind of went against my rules, but still 2 little minor losses for massive gains, and February was one of my best months, only 1 loss, okay? So, May, we're starting out strong. Join me on this journey. I think you guys are going to love it. I am upping my contracts every month, as I do think this is one of the best scaling up systems you can do. Every month, up your contracts, right? And so the next month, I'm going to do even more. The goal is to get to $1,000 a day, right? That's eventually the goal, but you don't want to just do that right away. You want to slowly work your way up there so you have a snowball and you have more confidence and you're not emotionally strained to it. Because you don't want to start this strategy and you just go all in on it and you get a first loss right off the bat. You're going to be very disappointed. You're going to be like, man, that sucks, right? But even if you get a loss, I promise you, if you stick to this, you will be fine in the long run, okay? So this is the strategy here, credit spreads. I have all the videos in the Discord if you want to learn how to place orders. Right here, how to place credit spreads with the stop, how to do the 15-minute orb. I have a future strategy, the one-on-one coaching for my credit spreads. I need to make a new one, but watch this 0DTE credit spread strategy to make consistent income. And this is the one strategy that I really think is one of the best in the market. Using a 15-minute timeline, 15-minute candle gives you very high value signals. Not a lot of times, yeah, we've had a lot of false breakouts, but like I said, this don't happen often, right? Getting 3 double orbs in a row. Look at this, guys. Look at all these single orbs. Single, 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 single. You get tons and tons of them. And even the double orbs, you still win, because usually what that means is price don't know what it wants to do. A lot of times price does this where it's just, okay, I want uptrend, okay, I don't know what I want, and just goes sideways forever, right? So just keep that in mind. I think you guys are going to like it. If you subscribe, make sure you do it on your computer to avoid the iOS fee. It's only $12 a month. Head on over to the server shop and you can read about my memberships. You're going to want the Day and Swing Trading Plus. That's the highest membership. You get access to everything. For my swing trading, I mainly just do mid to big cap stocks. You're not going to make money every day. You're going to have to hold it for a day, a week, 2 weeks. And mainly I do cover calls on that. You're going to learn a lot there too. But what you want to do is you want to make money every day, put that into your higher value quality stocks, and this is a very nice passive income, okay, where you can scale up and get to that $1,000 a day, if not more, depending on your account size. Every $2,000, you're going to make roughly $100 doing this system. So it's $12 a day, or $12 a month, my bad, for the Day and Swing Trading Plus. Subscribe on your computer to avoid the iOS fee to get that exact amount. If you have an Android, you will have to use your computer, and if you're not from the US, it might charge a little extra for the currency exchange fee. But this is the mess. I just want to show you guys a brutal week and still profitable. Okay, brutal week, super hard week, doing the 15-minute ORB, but using my premium and my stop is going to save you guys. All right, I highly recommend, if you're not going to manage it, just have your stop write it out. Yeah, I got a little dicey today, but all in all, we still had quite a bit of wiggle room left. Once I saw this down move happen, I was like, okay, we're pretty good now, right? So hope to see you guys in the Discord. You guys are going to learn a lot. This is the best zero DTE credit spread strategy out there, where it has lots of results, lots of time and backtest that put into it, and you don't need that much knowledge about it. You need 2 lines on a chart, look at big support and resistance on the higher time frames, look at your EMAs to kind of can give you that conflict, to say, okay, what is the general trend and all that. And I'll teach you guys all that. We go live every day, so it's really nice if you want to join my live streams. I go live every day. You can join them in here. If you have the membership, I'll let you guys know. And then obviously alerts are for the members, okay? We're on a massive win streak. We've had a massive win streak. We just had one loss recently, but as you can see, after a loss, we tend to have monster wins, okay? So now's the time to get in, guys. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.